Hello, my fellow movie watchers. It's Courtney here. Welcome back to my What to Watch Now channel. In this week's video, I have 7 romantic horrors on Netflix, Hulu, AMC Plus, Tubi, and Showtime. But first, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and click the notification bell so you're alerted to the new videos I upload every Friday.
Thomas, your bride is frozen.
I'll run you a hot bath.
Guillermo del Toro has once again created a wickedly enchanted world that gives us romance and horror intertwined. If you have seen Hitchcock's 1940s film Rebecca or even the 2020 remake, you already have the gist of this one. Having married and been taken away to a remote English mansion, Edith slowly learns that ghosts are everywhere and monsters can assume any form.
Do we have to do this? Must we?
Yes. You have no idea what they do.
What do you want? If you love the movie Misery as I do, you're gonna dig Spell. Marquis is traveling back home to Appalachia for his father's funeral when the horror starts.
Where am I?
You was in a plane accident.
What about my family?
Baby, you were the only one found.
Loretta Devine is always fantastic, but in this movie, she's downright scary. Rural mountain isolation, hoodoo or voodoo, mojo, potions, and tricks, good grief. Everything is done out of love in this romantic horror.
All right now, tell us what you see.
This is indeed a romantic horror list, so it's time for a fairy tale, or rather 3 tales, involving love and magic, but told in a more grim fashion. Tale of Tales involves 3 tales, one involving a queen and a sea monster, another showing the dangers of love and obsession, and the last centered around a lewd king and his desires. These aren't like Disney fairy tales, morbid and strange, but delightfully different. You should definitely treat yourself with this one.
You have no idea how much I wanted you.
If you were gonna die, and you knew you were gonna die, and you could choose how, what would you choose?
There had to be at least one on the list, a twisted love story that is brutal, shocking, and disturbing.
Pretty bad relationship. He was not very honest with me about a lot of things.
To accept the things I cannot change.
Things are gonna get a little real in this romantic horror as we watch a serial killer weave himself among society, all the while tracking down the love of his life, Sarah. This one was kind of unsettling for me. The way it's shot makes it feel like I'm there, constantly hiding from the killer, but wanting to see his every move. It was brilliant, really. This one wasn't bad. A fantastic, intimate look at a killer.
So we didn't get a regular wedding cake. We decided on something that was special for us instead.
I love you, honeybee.
Paul and Bea have decided to spend their honeymoon in an isolated cabin in the Canadian wilderness. Pretty soon after arriving, Bea starts sleepwalking in the forest, which wouldn't be an issue. I mean, do you? However, after the first time, she wasn't quite the same.
You feel distant, different. Did something happen in the woods?
There's a couple of scenes in this one that kind of shocked me. One involving a plunger and the other having to do with some sort of worm creature. Man, what Paul won't do for love.
Something bad happened to me. Something bad happened to me in the woods.
So you like scary stories, do you? This
is what you're looking for.
You know the thing I like about those stories?
It's not me up in those woods running for my life. Not me being torn to pieces before my very own eyes.
Time for a different kind of love story. Something violent and horrific happened to Mina, so now she exists in the forest, secluded and isolated from the world, until she stumbles upon Alex, locked in the trunk of a parked car. Now he's free from his captor and she's no longer alone, but there's just one problem. She's a monster.
So you believe in monsters?
Yeah.
Me too. How did it feel?
Like I just wanted him to go away.
This film, in spite of it being a horror, is the most human and heartfelt entry on the list. Two teens living with the quite visible wrongs that were done to them finally find comfort in no longer being alone.
I'm not gonna let anyone hurt you ever again, okay?
Hey, good morning. I'm Detective Ranson. Mind telling me where you were?
My number one romantic horror involves Drew. You think you have a hard life? Imagine the stress of knowing in a short time your body will decay and rot and you will need to murder a new host. Pretty early in the movie, Drew meets Julia. Now he has a new purpose: murder the right host so that he can be with her forever.
Do you consider yourself a good person?
Does being good really matter? Bad things happen to good people all the time, right?
If I don't do this, I'll die.
Sounds a little twisted? Yes, indeed. This movie grabbed me from the first scene, and I sat in awe for an hour and a half. Body horror, a serial killing shapeshifter, and of course love. What more could you want?